I don't recognize you. So I'll assume this is your first visit to Ravenrock, Outlander. State your intentions. Mirak, I'm not sure. What I do? Just remember, Ravenrock is sovereign territory of House Redderin. This is Morrowind, not Skyrim. While you're here, you will be expected to abide by our laws. Any questions? I'm unsure. I swear I know the name, but I cannot place it. I don't think so. I'm not. The name has something to do with the Earthstone. I'm not sure what. I have to be. The second counselor, the security of Ravenrock is my primary concern. This isn't exactly the city of Blacklight. We're on the frontier out here. We've had more than a fair share of troubles. After all we've been through together, I refuse to let Councillor Morvain down. Councillor Morvain is House Redderin's representative on Solstein. As second councillor, it's my job to support him and make certain his rule is enforced. Your ignorance of our homeland doesn't surprise me. It's the capital of Morrowind. Been that way ever since Mournhold was sacked by the Argonians. I don't visit there often anymore, but we still get the occasional supply ship and visitors. Quite a while ago, yes. They cut a bloody swath across most of the southern region of Morrowind. Nobody seems certain why it happened. Attempted expansion, revenge for the enslavement of their people, or perhaps both. Whatever the case may be, thousands of Dunmen needlessly lost their lives. Many more were exiled from their homeland. Ravenrock started out as an Imperial settlement. The Empire decided to abandon it, just as my people were first setting foot here. They left the town at the camp. When House Redderin took over, we turned it around and it became ours. And even if it's been a struggle to make this island livable, we're proud to call it home. Giallan, I was starting to wonder what happened to you.
We were delayed by bad weather. Before you even asked, yes, have the supplies you requested. But
what?
this load cost me double what we'd agreed on. Nothing I can do about it.
Damn it, Giallan, you know we don't have that much product.
Look, the East Empire Company didn't give me a choice. They've raised their prices again. And there's nothing I can do about it.
After all these years, they're gouging us for every last drake we have. Let me talk to Laeral. I will see what we can do.
All right, Admiral. Don't worry about rushing. Just pay me when you can.
Move along, Outlander.
Squatting isn't tolerated in the abandoned buildings. If you need a place to stay, head to the corner club.
You haven't seen Crescius Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taken my pickaxe again. No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know. It's the only tool tough enough to crack Skyrim, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Crescius borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I, traded them some goods for it. No, wait. Maybe. I don't know how I know that name. I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about this. Calling Skyrim an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. A fine question, and the one that I hear most often from visitors to our town. I wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Raven Rock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften. I had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Ryth, a very talented armor smith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since. The finest weapons and armor. You tell Crescius he better give that pickaxe back to me, or else.
Want to buy anything, or just laugh at our misfortunes? Mining gear? No. However, I used to sell East Empire pendants until I ran out of them. Popular little item. It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the East Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point. A kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands on a few of them. They could be anywhere on the island. The mines might be a good place to start. If you find any while you're exploring Solstheim, bring them here, and I'll pay you for them. I think I maybe had a dream about someone with that name. It was very strange. Was I building something? A shrine down on the beach near the Earthstone? I'm not sure. The question you should be asking is, what don't I sell here? Because I have pretty much any supplies you might need. If it's not a weapon, potion, or armor, then it's likely that I have it. Jarland, over at the docks, brings me most of my supplies, and the rest comes from bartering with the people in town. Oh, Glover Mallory gets me a few things once in a while. He usually has the most amazing deals that I can't pass up. Bad? What if I told you that you're the first person that's even considered looking at my wares today? I've half a mind to contact my friends at the East Empire Company and see if they need an extra hand in Windhelm. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've corresponded with Vittoria Vici herself more than once. You know, the lady who runs the East Empire Company warehouse in Solitude. The biggest warehouse they have in Skyrim. Bah, you're just like the rest of the folks around here. Mark my words. The East Empire Company will return to Raven Rock, and when they do, I'll be at the top of their list. See for yourself. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone.
Welcome to Raven Rock. I think so, but I can't remember how I know him. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I think so. But the only thing that comes to mind is a shrine near the Earthstone. The Dunmer have been growing food in the Ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever. No, only the Telvanni have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience. If the quality's right, I'll take those off your hands. Let me take a look. Next time you're hungry, stop by.
Looking for any potion? I don't think so. Though it sounds like a name I've heard before. I hear that name, and I see a temple here on Solstheim. What could that mean? Yes, I'm proud to say that I grow or harvest most of it myself. I only wish I had a better source for netch jelly. Those creatures are difficult to track down since it's so dangerous beyond the bulwark. That would be splendid. I'd be more than happy to give you something for the effort. After we left Morrowind, we found ourselves in Skyrim. We wandered around a bit and ended up in Morthal, where we took up temporary residence with Lami, the town's alchemist. I was fascinated by her work, and over a period of a few years, she taught me quite a bit. It wasn't long before we became homesick. We were the only Dunmer in Morthal. When word reached us that a settlement of Dunmer was forming on Solstheim, we were thrilled. It's been difficult, but I'm not regretting it one bit. In fact, I'm glad we've been able to stay and help. As you can imagine, the eruption of the Red Mountain took an awful toll on Solstheim. Hunting for game has been scarce, and the waters are apparently too tainted for fishing. According to Councillor Morvain, my husband's been Raven Rock's most important food source for decades. Take a look. Careful with those netches. can seriously hurt you when threatened.
Damn it, woman. I said to leave me be.
Cretius, last time you explored the mine, you almost fell to your death. I'm not spending the rest of my days as a widow.
And I'm telling you that I'll do whatever it takes to find my great-grandfather's remains. He's down here. I can feel it.
That was almost 2 centuries ago. There may be nothing left to find.
Just let me go, woman.
Cretius, you're an obstinate old fool, and you're going to get yourself killed. My apologies for Cretius's ravings. That foolish old man thinks he's 30 years younger than he is. He's going to get himself killed traipsing around the mine. He's convinced himself that there's some sort of conspiracy involving the East Empire Company and the mine's closure. He came across some old letters that belonged to his great-grandfather in our house, and he believes every word written in them. Cretius's great-grandfather worked for the East Empire Company. The letters mention some sort of discovery he was sent to investigate. There's really nothing remarkable in the letters. I don't know what he's so excited about. Gratian Corellius. He was an explorer for the East Empire Company. They'd send him all over Tamriel when they had difficulties in a mining operation. Poor man. Can you imagine doing all that dangerous work just to end up dying at your own doorstep? There was a horrible accident, and he was killed when one of the tunnels collapsed. They were never even able to go down there and recover the body. The East Empire Company sealed that section off to prevent any more tragedies. My beloved is almost 80 years old, and I think the shock of finding one of his ancestors' things has left his mind a bit confused. Be careful out there. I think so, but from where? I can't recall. It's difficult. Something about it doesn't feel right. A temple here on the island. That's all I can recall. To understand how we met one another, you have to appreciate what he's going through. Cretius is a third-generation miner. All his life, he's lived and breathed nothing else. By the time Cretius came of age, the ebony mine in Raven Rock was shut down. He took that quite hard. Our home has been in his family for over 200 years. Leaving would have been like abandoning precious memories. Instead, he stayed on Solstheim and spent most of his life prospecting for a new ebony source. Sadly, it never surfaced. A decade ago, this drove him into a deep depression. He shut himself inside his home and refused to come out. It was after refusing to allow anyone to bring him food, Counselor Morvain ordered his door to be knocked down before Cretius starved to death. I was a temple priest at the time, and they had me use my healing arts to restore strength to his ailing body. I stayed for a while and cared for him, then I suppose we fell in love. Far from it. In fact, I'm no longer welcome there. In all honesty, it came down to a disagreement between what I believe and what Elder Othraloth believes. I'd prefer not to get into the details, but let's just say our opinions about the current status of the Tribunal vary widely. Be careful out there.
Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy? Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are. Ask most of the folks around here and they'd agree with you. But mark my words, these mines hold a secret that could put Raven Rock back on the map. A secret the East Empire Company swept under the rug 2 centuries ago. It killed my great-grandfather and left Raven Rock with a worthless and tainted mine. You never heard of them? They're the largest trading company in Tamriel, originally chartered by the Emperor of Cyrodiil himself. Gratian Kyrelius. He spent his entire life exploring ancient ruins across Tamriel, and he died in these very mines almost 200 years ago. The East Empire Company called it a terrible accident, claiming that he was lost in a rockfall, but I know better. My wife and I were cleaning out our home, and we came across some of my great-grandfather's things locked in an old chest. I found an unsent letter he'd written to the East Empire Company, and a key. It describes a discovery that was made in the mine by some of the diggers. They wanted Gratian to take a closer look. The East Empire Company must have felt it was of great value, as they locked that section of the mine off from everyone else. It is. Well, I assume it is. I haven't been able to find the entrance. Finally, someone who believes me. I'm telling you, there's something big down there. Something that the East Empire Company wanted to hide from everyone. Look, my wife nags that I'm too old to go traipsing around these mines chasing my story. Time's my enemy. It's caught up with me before I could find the answers that I'm looking for. I do. I want to know what happened to Gratian, and what the East Empire Company's keeping from all of us. Gratian kept a journal of notes about his discoveries. If you can find his remains, I'm hoping it will help. Here's everything I have. The letter, the key. Please, do this for me, so I can finally regain the respect that I've lost. Look, I know I don't have much to go on. I have that unsent letter, and that's really it. But I also have a miner's instinct that's run in my family from before Gratian was even born. I may sound like a crazy old man to you, but I'm telling you, the tunnels here are solid. They would never collapse like that. She thinks that old age is out of my mind, that I'm seeing things when there's nothing to be seen. I realize she cares about me, but she has to understand that I can't rest until I find out what happened to Gratian. Then I'll settle down peacefully and never set foot in this mine again. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, even before I discovered Gratian's old things. I just hope both of you don't mistake my enthusiasm for insanity. The damn fool doesn't even deserve to have it. The pickaxe was made for mining, not selling. I'll bet he stole it from the Skald in the first place. Oh, very well. Here. Tell him I hope he drops the thing on his foot. I recognize the name, but I don't know how I know it. It sounds so familiar. It's so strange. I feel like it's from a dream. Something about the Earthstone and a shrine. That's it. That's all I can think of. Be careful down there. The mine can be treacherous. mouth to feed.
I work for...
Let me know if you need anything. I'll take you by the fire and I'll send someone over.
Teldrin Cerro, blade for hire. If you have the coin,
You should
I'm
think
at
about
your
staying the night.
service. Unless you have enough coin on you, I'm not going anywhere.
I should have another batch of...
Now, if you'll excuse me.
How much do I owe you this time?
Tell you what, if you use them to make your Kwama egg stew, you can
Find my
have-
pickaxe yet?
It's a deal.
So, you finally tracked down old Cretius, eh? Quite a character, isn't he? Tell you what, since you went through all the trouble of finding it for me and all, you keep it. I just wanted to remind that codger you can't just go around taking things from other people. Now that you've delivered the message, I'm satisfied. Besides, that pickaxe hasn't done me any good in years. Maybe you can put it to good use. Bring your weapons and armor to me. I'll fix it up right.
You look like the adventurer type, yes? Jikidar needs your help. Please, will you help him? It is Jikidar's brother, Jazigri. He has been taken by slavers. They are Dunmer from Morrowind, encamped to the east of this town. They call themselves House Drez. Jikidar went to their settlement to beg for Jazigri's release, but he could not get in. Too many guards, and Jikidar is lover, not fighter. But you can help, yes? Thank you, 1,000 times thank you. Riddlethar bless you, friend.
I'd be on the first ship off this island if I had the coin. I'm beginning to like this partnership. Here you go. If you need any supplies, you know where to find me.
My wife and I are doing the best we can to keep Raven Rock fed. Next time you're hungry, stop by.
Of Raven Rock,
I
it would be
always
my
have plenty
pleasure
of
to
food
help
for
you
sale.
any way that I can.
Your visit here would be tolerated as long as you abide by our laws.
Welcome
Otherwise,
to the
we'll
Retching
answer
Netch
to the
Corner
veteran
Club,
guard.
home of the finest Sioux jammer that will ever grace your lips. There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sioux jammer in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. But you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the netch, yells, "Have a drink," and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground. Well, the bottle broke on the netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that netch was sick. True story, friend. True story. If you've got gold on your hands, you might talk to Rallis of the Colbjorn Barrow. I've heard he wants to excavate the place. The Veteran Guard have spotted a pack of werewolves in the mountains. The hunters up on Frostmoon Crag might know more. The Ashspawn attacks on the bulwark are getting worse. Captain Veleth is trying his best, but I think the Veteran Guard are overwhelmed. The finest Sujamma to cross your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujamma. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it. I was kind of hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujamma and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
Jazikri is a prisoner of House Therese to the east of this town. Please, hurry!
Speak quickly. Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks. If you need any supplies, you know where to find me.
If you ever need apothecary supplies, talk to my wife, Milori. Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with. Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty of
You
food
look
for
able
sale.
to venture outside of town. Perhaps you could help me recover something precious that was lost. A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived. Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheim. Can you imagine? One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers. Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you find my folio. You aren't here with bad news regarding my husband, are you? I couldn't bear it. Adral Arano, second counselor of Raven Rock. How I hate that title. Damn fool's going to get himself killed over it someday. He's in grave danger, and yet he continues to place himself in harm's way. When I fall asleep at night, all I can do is hope he'll still be there when I awaken. This island was never meant for us. There's too much death here. I assure you, if I could convince Adral to do that, I'd be on the next ship back to Blacklight. Unfortunately, Adral and Councillor Morvain are very close friends, and they will never abandon one another, despite my feelings. I'm the wife of a second counselor, and certain things are expected of me. The most important thing is that I stand by Adral no matter how I feel, and I intend to do that until we get off this miserable rock. Adral and I lived in Blacklight, the capital city of Morrowind. House Redoran has improved Blacklight substantially over the last 1,000 years. Its grandeur rivals that of Mournhold itself. The root spire where the Council of Great Houses meet is something to behold. I haven't seen the city in over 50 years. Even for a Dunmer, that seems like an eternity. Regardless, I hope to return there someday, which doesn't seem likely given my husband's commitment to Councillor Morvain. Why does that sound so familiar? There's no one here by that name, and yet I swear I've heard it. I don't know. It almost feels like a dream. Something about a temple on the island. Oh, how kind. Thank Geldis for me, won't you? My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you find my folio.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, my lord. If you need anything, Master Geldis will be happy to help you. Sorry, Geldis won't allow me to drink while I'm working at the Netch. Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. Safe travels, Outlander.
Here in my
that you might remember. Far from yourself.
There's something wrong here.
Now, through me,
Our
do you
hands
see?
once were idle. When the world shall
And when the world shall see. That world will cease to be.
Here.
The elders talk of great cities much bigger than our village. But why would anyone need so many buildings?
Have you been by Thirsk? Have you seen... Is there any of the mead left? I make it, drink it, I share it with friends. Ha! Thirsk didn't always make its own mead. No, we used to get by on shipments from Skyrim. But those gold grubbers at the East Empire Company started charging more than their share for bringing it over. We still buy what we have to, but I make as much as I can. Well, the easy answer, of course. Me! Actually, now that I think of it, I have been missing the Ashfire. It's a special brew that we make at Thirsk. If you could somehow get up there and grab a bottle, I'd be a long way towards forgetting how miserable it is down here. I wouldn't be at Thirsk if I wasn't. These days I focus a little more on the creature comforts of the hall, though. The food, the drink, the stories. It drives Kuvar mad, but someone has to do it or the place would be a little cold. All right then. I brought down as much as I could when we ran off, but
I'd be better
it only
off
lasted
with some
so
meat in
long.
my belly, but the air in Solstheim is almost as sweet. We brought ourselves out here, along with our shame. We used to be proud warriors of Thirsk Mead Hall, there, up on the hill. But we let that sweet life get the better of us. We grew soft and... Reeklings. Those filthy vermin. They came in numbers. Waves of the things. One at a time. They're pests. But with this many. And so here we are, out of our home. Do you know of the Skull? A long time ago, a man named Hrothmund left the Skull to form his own tradition. Warriors in the wild, living like the Nords of old. They would hunt, they would fight, and the mightiest among them would rise up as leader. But those days are behind us now. Until next time.
Bujok feels so guilty about what happened. Try not to provoke her. You don't know the half of it. Bujok's just embarrassed, I think. Doesn't help that her husband is one of the loudest complainers. She's always been quick to shame. Kuvar. He thinks we've all gotten a little too soft. I can see what he means looking at Elmas, but the rest of us still have our edge. At least, I think so. And don't tell Elmas I said that. That depends on who you ask. I fight, I protect the hall, I bring in meat. And I think I could take on most of the tree lovers up in the Skull village. But because I'd rather drink a mug of meat at night instead of training until I drop, Kuvar calls me a layabout. Wish he would just lighten up.
All right then. How are you holding up?
It's rough out here, but I'm getting by.
Not everyone was built for this kind of life.
Need to get back to my anvil.
I can handle it. Wish there was more meat is all.
At night, the wind picks up
The
from the
Greybeards
ocean.
have summoned the Dragonborn to High
I'm
Hrothgar.
just lucky to keep
Such a thing has not happened for hundreds of years.
I wouldn't call it that. We've just got a bit of an infestation is all. Down here to catch our breath, and then we'll be back in the hall once I get the rest of these up to move. Reeklings. You must have passed by the hall on your way down here. Well, it's been overrun. We're just out here temporarily, to regroup. Longer than I would have liked. What's going on here is that we've been kicked out of our home. The mead hall, up there on the hill. Some Reeklings have taken it over. With tenacity and numbers. It didn't help that we'd grown a little too comfortable up there. Too much mead, too many stories, too few battles. Are you offering to help? Some new blood should be enough to rouse these layabouts to actually fight again.
This is home now, boy.
Well, let's move then. Hey, you lazy milk drinkers, get over here.